Hi guys and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got two replays in the German Tier 7 Premium Heavy Tank, the Tiger 1 Hammer. Now this tank is in the current Season Pass, or soon to be previous Season Pass. Probably should have released this video on the Hammer a while ago. Is what it is. I've had the replays for a while, I don't know why I didn't. Is what it is! And the reason that I want to release it, and I'm going to label it as the Season Pass tank and that, even though the new pass out tomorrow and all that good stuff, is because what I'm actually doing with the playlist that this video is going to be in, or one of the playlists anyway, is that you are going to be able to just look at a playlist and you think, oh, has that tank been in an earn-up or in a Season Pass before? You can go to the playlist and you'll be able to find all the previous Season Pass and earn-up tanks, etc, etc. And it's good, it's a guide for me as well. I can go, hey, wait, was that, did we earn that tank? I can't remember. Have a quick look at the playlist. Oh yeah, we did, look. You never know, in a year's time it could be useful, it might never be useful, who bloody knows, but that's the reason I'm doing it. If you haven't noticed already, but the audio in these two replays is going to be a little bit out of sync, and that is pretty annoying at times, but just bear with it. The games are pretty decent, shows off the Hammer. Yeah, audio issues, God knows why it did it. I just started listening to the, well, I started looking at the replays again and found all my replays from that day after were all like this. Pain in the bum, but technical issues, what can you do? So, in the meantime, the Tiger 1 Hammer has had a buff in the E100 tanks reforged. It got roof armour buff from 25mm to 35mm and a gun mantlet buff from 160 to 180. Now that gun mantlet buff and roof armour buff is pretty nice for the Hammer. It means that your roof isn't going to get overmatched by the really low caliber guns. It still gets overmatched by the 100mm, 122mm guns that you can face at Tier 7. So just bear that in mind. But also the gun mantlet buff that you've got makes it a little bit better on a ridgeline actually. You can bounce quite a lot. Don't rely on it, but it still can do it. You know, just, it's a new asset that the tank has. The one thing that they didn't buff was the engine power. Really random thing that they didn't buff, because this tank, fun fact, actually has 3 horsepower per ton less than the standard Tech Tree Tiger 1. Even though they're pretty much the same tank, just this is a premium version. That's part of the whole old school premium vibe, right, where, you know, it's worse than the Tech Tree version. But these days it doesn't quite make sense that this tank has less horsepower than the standard Tech Tree version. Just weird. They should have buffed the engine power. They should have buffed the horsepower, to be honest. But you can still get around, and the skills also help this. So, what do I run in terms of a crew on the Tiger 1 Hammer? Well, I run Born Leader, Rapid Reload, Sixth Sense, Situational Awareness, Track Mechanic, Steady Aim, Snapshot, Run and Gun, and Off-Road Driving. Now, I run Off-Road Driving, and that helps with your engine power problems. Now, to help with the horsepower problems as well, you could quite happily run the powertrain. The powertrain will give you better horsepower, and that'll get your horsepower per ton up. Add that onto off-road driving, which increases or makes your terrain resistances better, and you'll have a good time. And you'll be able to get up to that top speed. So like in this first replay, I'm actually running the powertrain, which gives me the extra engine power and the extra speed. And it really does help the tank a lot. But in the second replay, you'll see I'm running rammer, vents, and optics. Now, you could run the powertrain or you could run the vents, because the vents will help your view range, but it will also help all of your gun handling stats and make your DPM a little bit better as well. And this tank is all about how good that gun is and how good the DPM is, because you don't have any armor, you're a big box, your mobility is a bit but the DPM of the gun are fantastic. So if you can maximize those two things, you'll have a lot of fun with the tank. So in this first game on El Haloof, we have managed to push through the heavy tank corner, and now we're attacking their team that were left towards their base. We get a nice shot into track, the Barask. He gets finished off, and now we're going after the T-34-3 that took some of our hit points earlier on. Hoping to get there, but unfortunately he gets shut down, and then there's just artillery, and the artillery's up in the corner like normal. But yeah, if you can help the mobility of this tank, it's great, right? But it's your choice, and you get, like I say, you're going to see the best of both worlds. because it's your choice whether you want to make it just that little bit quicker, because it does lack the engine power, and you do feel it if you are used to playing the other Tiger, well, the standard Tech Tree Tiger 1 or the Tiger 131 or even the T6 100. So you could run the powertrain in the off-road drive-in to make it so that that engine power doesn't hold you back as much. But just as easily, because the tank is all about how good the gun is and how good the DPM is, you could run the vents. And to be honest, I went with that because I just decided, you know what, I want the better DPM and the better gun handling, because the gun handling is great, and the, you know, better aim time as well on top of that. But, you know, always making it better is nice. And it can help you. Now, these were the only two, actually, these were back-to-back games. And we finished with the victory, the 5 kills, 3.5k damage, 1700 assistance, ace tanker, high caliber, and you see we're at 99.58. So I was like, you know what, well, I need a second replay for this video, right? I've just had a nice game with the hammer, may as well get a second replay. So we're going to end up taking it out for a second game and see if we can get over that dotted gold line, right? And in the second game, we're on Cliff. And yeah, this one, I decided, you know what, screw the powertrain, because that's what I had on it from when I changed it a wee while ago. I thought, you know, we're going to try vents and see what vents does for us. And in the situation, you're probably going to see, I mean, we're top tier, which is great for a Tiger tank. When a Tiger is top tier, like the Tiger 131, you're going to have a lot of fun, because a lot of tanks obviously can, I mean, there's so many tanks that can pen you. But the thing is, you have a lot of hit points. You have a big chunk of hit points at 1550 for tier 7. And it's less likely you're going to come across tanks like, you know, the tier 8 and tier 9 that have big alpha that are going to slap all your hit points away with like 1 or 2 shots. You're going to come against a lot more tanks that have 200 alpha like yourself. And that's where your DPM and your gun handling and all that good stuff can come into play a lot more. And you can just abuse that really well, to be honest, and just come out with some big games. And this is where having vents will help a lot, because having just that little bit extra, having that little bit extra out of everything and squeezing that little bit extra out of everything helps you in the faster game situations. So on Cliff, we've come to this position at F5-6, and here we go. We've got this poor little Churchill one. It's like, I could shoot you, but I'm going to shoot the poor little M6 as well that's going over there. And this is where the DPM of the tank's great, because this guy is not going to have much fun. We've got 2 shots into him. We're going for the third. We get that one in. We end up tracking him. It's like, come on, reload. I want to finish this guy off. But unfortunately, he just gets behind the rock. And it's like, well, okay, we need to keep this gun firing, because there's only 2 of us here. And I'm just trying to get the shots on these medium tanks and heavy tanks in front of us. So we go over, unfortunately bounce on the Churchill one. It's like, wait a minute, is this Sherman 3 really pushing round? And he kind of distracts me for a second. It's like, right, I've got to go get this guy. And unfortunately, he ends up shutting down my P43, but he gets done in himself by the artillery, because of course the tier 7 artillery is going to shoot the tier 5 medium tank. Yep. And it's like, okay, well, he's gone. I've not really got much threat here. We've taken the middle quite easily. We've pushed that middle area really aggressively, which doesn't happen that often. And that means that I'm fully safe from the right-hand side. The only thing that's a danger to me in this position I'm in currently is anything that is camping in their base. So I know there was stuff going round the base of the cliff. So it's kind of like, right, okay, I've got to turn around. I'm going to go for it. We're up to 1600 damage, which, you know, isn't quite enough to go for anywhere near 100%. And I want all of the health and all of the damage on these guys that are going to come round. So we get to shut down the 1357. And now we've got this hammer. We get one into the hammer, and we're just going to use this little ridge line in front of us as a shield. We get another one in. He ends up shooting our turret and bouncing, which is where the new turret armor helps. We get another one into his upper plate, and this is where the DPM has helped us a lot, right? And this is where our hit points has got us, because we've managed to get quite a few shots into this man without return, and that means that we have definitely got him, and we're not going to die to finish this guy. And we got all of his hit points, which is juicy. Now there's actually only one, well, 2 tanks left. Now 1 tank left. It's this A43 Black Prince in front of us, the poor little tier 6 premium Black Prince. And it's like, boy oh boy, you are going to be all of my damage, sir, and please feed me. Please, please feed me. It's like, thank you very much. Sayonara, good night, sir. And we finished that game in a very, very quick game. That ended really quickly. It's like 3 minutes something. We finished top of our team, the epic victory, 4 kills, 1849 base XP, 4k damage. Ace tanker, the high caliber, the sniper, and that was the gold mark. That was the 2 games back to back. And we finished top of our team, yeah. So we got the 4th mark on the hammer. And that is a tank that you could get in the season pass or in the previous season pass. Most of you all have it now. You know what the hammer's about. It's a very old premium tank. Can be a lot of fun, but there's a lot better Tigers out there, like the two that are sitting behind me on the leaderboard. So as always, everybody, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.
A great success!